All right, guys, welcome back to Inside the YouTube studio. Today, once again, is a very special day. We have the one and only BC from Comic Kingpins. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. BC, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Ozzy, man. So happy to finally be here. How's it going with you?
It's good. Just trying to move along with these shows. I'm really happy you joined me. Again, a representative for Comic Kingpins. How's your day going?
Going good, man. It's that life.
Yes.
The weekend, here we are, and just trying to survive, but everything's going good. Got the errands done. Now we're focusing on the big game tonight.
I know. Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday. That's why I also appreciate you taking a bit of time to spend with me.
I made sure to put on a summer t-shirt for tonight to bring the summer vibes.
Yeah, I've got the. Yeah, I know, right?
It's getting cold. But Super Bowl Sunday, I know I'm gonna eat poorly. So this is me just testing the waters for the summer bod.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to get rid of the winter weight.
Yep.
All right, so why don't we start off? Let's, because when I said in before we started recording, you're a representative for Comic Kingpins. So
yes,
why don't we give everybody who will be watching just a lay of the land of what the Kingpins are about right now?
Oh man, so Comic Kingpins, what are we about? We're literally just 5 friends hanging out, man, shooting the shit about comics. That's literally all we do.
Right.
That's been the concept out the gate. And that's really what we thrive on. It's nothing scripted, nothing, like we just come into it literally like winging it every week.
Okay.
There's nothing behind it. There's a small formula in a sense of like we'll do Trade Center. We have our Trade Center segment where we put up 2 books and we just see what people would do in certain scenarios. But other than that, it's a lot of just us hopping on and hanging out, man. And I think we see it also with the chat, you know what I mean? Like everyone's there to hang out, talk comics. The way we see it is picture yourself, and this is where it came about on my perspective is like you go watch a movie with your friends, right? An MCU movie, for example. Doesn't it just so happen that once you're done the movie, you guys hang out in the parking lot after for like an hour?
Sure.
Like, yeah, man, did you catch that? This might happen, and then.
Right.
That's what we're there for. It's literally, we said, why not just hop on together, shoot the shit, 5 friends, and that's it. Prior to myself hopping on board, that there was FaceTime, Keys, Hyper.
Right.
They were running previously on, and then they had me on, which I thought it was going to be a one-shot thing. I never thought, here I am. You know what I mean?
Right.
I hopped on and we all hung out, and before you knew it, we became like all of us just close friends, and we said, man, let's just keep this going and let's just rebrand this. Let's take this in a whole different direction, and it's been working. We're having fun.
Nice. So when you guys let's touch on a couple of things there's a tiny bit of structure to the shows, like you have your specific segments. But then in and around that, you guys, like the whole formula is just like keep it really loose, keep it kind of fresh, and just kind of see where it happens.
No filter. We are, like I said, it's just 5 guys hanging out, shooting the shit. Pretend we're at a bar.
Right.
Pretend you're just out with the boys talking nerd stuff. And realistically, that's what we are. We're 5 guys that grew up, but never grew up, and.
all of us kind of in the community.
No, for sure,
right? Yeah,
but we don't exactly. We all have that, right? But we're just hanging out, and there's nothing behind it. It's literally nothing scripted. There's the minor formula, but all the cheap jabs that you hear, it's just like what you would hear if we were hanging out. You know what I mean? Nothing changes.
Right. It does. Like, I mean, there is a bit of work behind it. Like you guys definitely are finding like your way in terms of like how the channel is sort of evolving, getting like those segments together. One of the other things I kind of want to touch on, and anybody who's been on here, I want to bring up the chat because it's such a huge part of each and every, because you guys go live, once a week. We'll get into the show in a little bit, but how do you think the chat that affects the show?
Oh, it's absolutely probably the most important part, and it's what keeps us also, going, and we thrive off of that. You know what I mean? It's like I said, it's the 5 of us hanging out, but we're hanging out with everybody else that's watching it live. Even back on the chats, sorry, not the chats, the comments.
Right.
When people leave comments, I do my best to also go back and let them know what I thought of what they're saying and show appreciation. But it's all of us hanging out with the chat. The chat for me is probably the most important part every week, because you see some of the reoccurring names, the same people coming back. You see the new faces, right. Everyone's comments and feedback, and like I said, all of that's very important. But us hanging out, like 5 friends, you throw in the chat, it's like we're all having a group convo, right? Like we're not really influencers or anything. Like I said, we will never see ourselves in such a light where it's like, I'm a speculator, I'm this and that. No.
Okay, sure, yeah.
We're friends. We're all friends, and that's what we also bring with the chat. Someone in the chat might drop information that we don't even know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we all start discussing. We're like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So that's why for me it's absolutely important for all of us.
Exactly, and the common thread that I see with a lot of the people with their channels is the community that's built in that chat. People making connections, you making connections with that, and information being put forward. Have you made any significant connections yourself with something like that, or
100%, Ozzy? I think I speak to you more than I do people I grew up with, and
that's also another common thread.
And it's awesome. The community itself is just something incredible. I've seen a lot of love. Unfortunately, there's always going to be some weird side to it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I'm calling spades a spade.
Of course.
Some people get frustrated over some things, but it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, to each their own. And you know how we are. We're just open. Like, we're okay with whatever feedback, negative, positive. It's okay. But the community itself, I made a lot of friends, connected with a lot of people, and like I said, the love is very, very impressive. It's cool. I learned a lot in just a year within this community. I've not been doing this YouTube stuff for long, right? So we'll say, in around May time, it's gonna make about a year. And man. So just in that year's time, it's incredible.
That's the other thing that I also find to be a common thread is everybody's time frame when it comes to creating their channel, getting on Instagram. Like, and it really seems we were kind of all on the same sort of road.
Yeah.
What do you like? We'll get back to the channel in just a second. What do you think that, like, do you kind of see that? Like, everybody's like, oh man, I wasn't collecting for a certain amount of time. A couple of years ago, I kind of got back into it. Like, it just seems like that's, it's so common.
It's beyond common. And you know what? It's fun. And I've said this on several shows, whether it be with Newbie or with the Kingpins, anywhere. The main thing that brought people back was COVID. It's undeniable, right?
Yeah, you're right.
A lot of people came back into the hobby. I hear a lot of people say the same story. Also, the same series brought them into comics again. It was Venom. Towards the time when the pandemic was,
right.
It hit. There was a lot of people catching on when they were bringing in virus, when they were bringing in Dylan, all of that stuff, right? So, a lot of people tell me that. The Donny Cates brought them back in, pandemic brought them back in, but there's many aspects as to why people came in. Regardless of the fact, it's beautiful right now. It's a great time to be a collector. It's I've never seen so many people with such support coming together for this hobby. It's honestly mind-blowing. I've been collecting since I was, we'll say, like, I started reading when I was a kid, around like 12, 14.
Okay.
But hardcore collecting, I would say around 17, 18. That's when I really started to get into collecting simply because, hey, now I was making my own money.
Right. Yeah. And you want to put it in the right place.
Yeah, exactly. So at that point is really when I started to collect big time. And then like I've never seen the things I'm seeing now within the hobby, where books are just selling out new comic book day. Like I'd be able to walk into my shops, and that was not the case, right? It was always available. So now it's the game shifted completely throughout COVID, but seeing a lot of people come into the hobby, man, it's beautiful. It's beautiful because it's keeping it alive, and that's what's most important.
Yeah, I know. I totally agree with everything you said there. Now that you've kind of mentioned a little bit about you kind of first getting into it, let's rewind a little bit, and I kind of still want to focus on the Kingpins, because that's the point behind this. We just want to get a look behind you guys. So I know you guys are it's still a fairly new channel in terms of like evolving into it. Let's rewind to what you feel was like the beginning of the Kingpins. Like the whole idea, not necessarily the actual what you have right now, but just like the road that led up to that.
So, like I had said, when I had hung out that one time with Face and Keys and Hyper on air, I really thought it was going to be a one-shot thing, and they were like, dude, we had so much fun, it was a pleasure, we hope to have you back, blah blah blah, all the good stuff, and I felt, wow, man, that was a good time. So I hung out with them. They ended up inviting me back on, and I'm like, okay, well, it seemed to become a weekly, reoccurrence where I was just hopping on to shoot the shit with them.
Right. And
then Newbie. I believe it was Hyper. I don't remember who it was. Hyper, Face, and Keys. I'll say all three of them, to be honest. They reached out speaking with Newbie because they were also doing shows with Newbie on Newbie's channel, and said, hey man, you should have BC on. Let's hang out with BC. And it's really all that ended up happening. We all became close friends. Like outside the YouTube world, there's a brotherhood amongst all of us. Right?
Yeah. So
we do separate the two. You know what I mean? We try to keep it somewhat professional, even though we are who we are. But yeah, man, there's a brotherhood there, and I think that's really what drove all of that. We were just hanging out, shooting the shit. We have our chat, you know what I mean, where we're always joking around and sharing information. And then it was like, okay, so it looks like I'm here to stay. What do you guys want to do? You know what I mean? And then Comic Dude came about as well, right? So we brought in Comic Dude. He was a natural fit with us too. And so we said, guys, we're literally five guys now on this channel. Maybe it's time to put up a name. You know what I mean? Let's look into names. So
sorry, you were on partially on Newbies, and then you were on Faces previously on, right?
Exactly. So the schedule for myself was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You know what I mean? Hyper would try to do the same. Face trying to do the same. So we had the Newbie shows going on Sundays and Tuesdays, and then the Monday show, which is where we all, there was myself, there's Hyper, there's Keys, Comic Dude. We're all there, and we're like, okay, so Mondays we need to come up with an identity. You know what I mean? Because
why did you guys decide that? Like you needed just because it was like, I know Face had his channel.
I just felt like we could be, one group. You know what I mean? Like it's just easier as a channel coming up with a name. And when we were shooting the shit with names, like trust me, there were many names that came up that were just
but tell me, I want to know. Just tell me a couple of the names.
Oh man,
I don't care how a name they were. Just let me know.
I can't even remember. I remember there was one, like, I think we were just shooting the shit joking. I'm like, what about the anti-heroes? You know what I mean? And sure. I didn't know if it was taken or not, but we just started joking, calling it the anti-heroes, and the amount of photos that we made, back and forth. Like we had the Golden Girls with our faces on it. Like we just had so much stuff going on.
That would have been amazing.
There was just a lot of nonsense happening while we were trying to think of our name, which is pretty much our show. Like literally every week, that's what it is. It's nonsense, but we are delivering a message.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, man, it was a lot of brainstorming, and we said, look, let's just come up with one name, one identity, where we can just come on Mondays as Comic Kingpins rather than, you know, BC, Comic Group, Keys, Face, Hyper.
Right.
Let's just make it a group. And we felt that way, that it would just be more beneficial. Rebrand, because Previously On was just running as Previously On with Face and Keys, and we just felt like it was time to hit reset. And ever since, the momentum's been awesome. You know what I mean? It's a growing channel. It's constantly overwhelming to see the support throughout the community, and I'm just having a great time. We all are.
Yeah, it's been. I love seeing you guys grow, seeing you evolve, and I kind of want to know this. Who's like the creative driving force? Like, you guys do some pretty interesting stuff in terms of like promo. Is that you? Is that?
No, I'm giggling because it's literally all of us. We really do just.
Okay, perfect.
Like I wish if I could have just pulled up slides for today's show just so I could show you guys the stupid stuff we speak about behind the scenes.
You know what you can do? How about this? When we keep chatting after this, because I'm gonna edit this.
Yeah.
You throw me this stuff, and I'm gonna put it in post edit.
I will try to dig up some good stuff
because I think people would want to see that.
There's some things that might get us in trouble, but yeah, man. So a lot of it is us just 5 guys in the chat shooting the shit, coming up with ideas, and I will tell you, a lot of the editing is like, let's say, myself and Keys.
Okay.
Keys is absolutely super creative when it comes to editing and making some fun parodies and stuff like that. I absolutely love his mind. His mind sometimes goes absolutely wild. I would say that all of the stuff was all together. You know what I mean? Like, I might nudge them and be like, hey guys, what do you think of Trade Center? And then like, yeah, but what would it be about? And then everybody's, contributing.
Yeah.
So I'll use Trade Center as an example every week. It's like the guys know, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, we have Trade Center coming up. Okay, what day is it? Oh, it's Valentine's Day. Let's make it twisted. You know what I mean? Which is what's gonna happen tomorrow. So yeah, and it's literally all of us creative. I do tend to go a little overboard on my end. I will say that. So
in
when
what way?
In a way of, I surprise the guys. Like a lot of the stuff. Example, like when we did the giveaway show.
Yeah.
If you catch the giveaway show, all those little videos, like when somebody would win, all of that stuff, that was me. Like,
okay.
That I will say, like I tend to throw in a few things to surprise the guys, but then like you'll have the scroll at the bottom where it's literally doing the lyrics to Rickroll, right? You're being Rickrolled at the bottom of the scroll. So you're gonna have the never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down scrolling at the bottom. That's Face. You know what I mean? Face just threw that in there. So
I never noticed
like I
that.
said, we're just it's there. Sometimes we are talking Trade Center, and at the bottom of the scroll, you have the entire lyrics of what's his name, Rick Astley.
Rick Astley, yeah.
So it's funny, right? We're just
funny.
having fun. And we wait to see if someone in the chat recognizes it or not, or if anyone comments. So we're testing you guys at the same time, but we're also having fun with it.
That's hilarious. I had no idea. I was there for the show, but I had no idea you guys are doing that.
Yeah, but like I said,
so you guys do that like to connect with the chat, just to like, because you guys joke with each other. So it would seem like the point, like, let's be inclusive.
Yeah, of course.
Get everybody like laughing.
100%. Everything we do, we try to include everybody. The chat to include obviously ourselves. You know what I mean? Like Newbie has been coming on with us the last couple weeks on Monday nights, and there was the Royal Rumble. It happened to be shortly after the Royal Rumble, and I don't know if you saw, but there was an incident where one of the wrestlers actually fell on his way down. Newbie had no idea I was making him that video. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean by going a little over.
Yeah.
With the guys, like the guys, they contribute on all ends. But then sometimes, like, I might throw in something twisted like that, or Keys might throw a video, Hyper might throw a video. Like, it's just literally everyone's contributing and having fun.
I like that sort of unscripted kind of feel. again, it's like you said, just like some guys hanging out, shooting shit, and like, you know, having fun with something that they care truly about. Who do you think, just touching on it, who do you think joins you guys? Like, what's the audience? Who's watching the Comic Kingpins?
Oh man, it's interesting because now we've started different segments, right? And we've yet to test with, because as of February 19, we're going to be having the Royally FOC, the Royally FOC.
Yeah.
So that's going to be dropping every Saturday. So, you know, there's going to be people that are going to just want to get some information. There's a lot of people that come to hang out with us. There's a lot of people that just really enjoy the segments that we have within the shows, talking about comics, whether it be Trade Center, whether it be, you know, weekly news. Are we speculators? Again, at all? Maybe someone might assume, simply because we're talking comics, you know what I mean? And maybe we said something that might bring, you know, attention to certain people that just didn't know. And that's pretty much what drives it for us. It's, we speak, right, amongst ourselves, 5 friends talking comics all the time. Like, example, I'm not too sure if this would be considered a spoiler anymore. I don't think so. But we all know that Swordmaster is going to become Iron Fist, right? So an example like that is, you know, we're just shooting the shit, talking about the storyline, where we think this is going to go. And that's where people are like, oh, okay, you know, they might be onto something. But are we speculating on a level where we think, hey, this is a book to buy into? No. Comic Kingpins just shoot the shit. Literally, that's all we do.
Right.
So who's watching us? I would say a bit of everybody. And we've noticed that, right? There's a lot of awesome people within the community that are there to support us. There's a lot of new faces that have been walking in and just telling us, hey, this is just great content, like on all around. So it's awesome. And I would say even age-wise, we have the younger crowd, the older crowd, everybody's there. People who have been collecting for 20, 30 years, 40 years, people collecting for 1 year, a couple months. It's awesome.
Yeah. So then, like, I'd say you're the people kind of join, and you know, I participate. I'm there with you guys in the chat. Mm-hmm. I think that people just come because it's the difference is there's nothing really. Like, they're not really like you said, they're not coming for spec. They're not coming for a lot of specific things. It's more just like a relaxing, you know, entertaining kind of like hangout. And there's no stress, right? There's no, because a lot of other channels can be really serious, which is cool because you're there for a specific reason, right? Yep. You're there to grab some info, and you're dealing with some, not just serious issues, but you know, because there's money involved and all that stuff. But
yeah, for sure. I there's, again, we do that, right? We, like, example, hopping on with Newbie, it's still friends hanging out, but there's a different dynamic there. You know what I mean? There's a different message being put out, in a sense of like when we talk speculations of the week, certain characters, certain books. Newbie's got a lot of great shows, in a sense of like undervalued books. He had the Grail versus Grail segment, which was awesome. There's a lot of channels, like you said, and I'm saying outside of Kingpins, outside of Newbies, where everybody is, let's say, serious, delivering a message. This is what's going to happen. They're showing leaks, or they're showing this, they're showing whatever it may be. I mean, there's nothing against it, but what we wanted for a Monday night, especially, like, we're kind of lucky because Monday nights, like, there's not many channels that are live on Monday nights. Mondays tend to be the toughest within the week, right? You're fresh at work, it's tough. But we said, man, let's just make it at a time where everyone can sort of be there. 7 p.m. Eastern time. I know it's not as beneficial to the West Coast. Yeah. But it's even if they come for the replay, you know what I mean? We appreciate that, and we just want to make it a hangout, you know, recap of what's coming, what passed shortly after Sunday. Monday, FOC just passed for the, you know, for the comic books. We're 2 days away from the comic book day. There's a lot that we can talk about at that point in time. But like I said, it's not too much about specs and this and that. It's just hanging out, shooting the shit, and no stress.
But sometimes, like, I mean, it'll go in that direction. Like, if somebody from the chat or if you guys kind of like be like, oh, this character is going to be coming up or that. So I like that. Like, there is some information, but I like the off the cuff kind of feel to it. Yep. So that being said, what have you guys discussed as a group moving forward? Like, where do you want to take the Kingpins?
I want to take it to the point where everybody in this community, anybody within the hobby, they feel like they want to hang out. They just want to talk about comics. And like you just said, the chat for us is very important. They can also, dictate at a certain level where the direction of an episode can go, right? There was an incident where I think we were talking, I can't remember if it was Black Panther 3, the 1 in 25, or it was Thor. I think it was a Miss Minutes cover, Timeless. Number 1. It was up against another book, which is, an established book. I can't remember. I think it was the first appearance of Rogue.
Oh, the Avengers Annual?
Yeah. So I think that was the Trade Center scenario. And we spent on that episode, I think about 20-30 minutes on that debate simply because the chat was chiming in. And a lot of people were like, I can't believe we are even speaking about this. 3 copies of Timeless can pay for a 9.6 of that Avengers Annual, and it was a debate to be had, right? So that's what I mean by depending on the influence of the chat too,
right?
That can also take the direction of an episode a certain way. So on that aspect, it's fun. Where do I see us down the road?
Yeah, do you guys sit down? Like, regardless of how, I know you say it's very casual and whatnot, but you want the channel to grow. You want,
for sure.
Everybody does, right?
Yeah.
So there's going to be a little bit of structure in that. You guys, you have to have a plan. Like,
for sure. Like I said, for us right now, we're going to be doing this, which is just regular going live on Monday nights. We're going to be doing the FOC show that's going to drop on Saturdays in the afternoon, just so that we can touch base on FOCs, because previously on the channel, and that was not a cheap shame plug, but previously on Face's channel, that's what they were doing. They were popping up the FOC, putting it live on stream, and they would go through each individual book. So just to kind of pay homage to that, because that is an aspect we also feel tends to be missing within the community. There's not too many people that do FOC. I would say there's a fair amount.
There's a lot of confusion with FOC too, right?
Yeah.
Because the two different companies do have two different FOCs from my understanding. So it'd be a great place to educate people for it.
Yeah, no, for sure. But like I said, are we the type of people to go out and say, hey, buy this book off of FOC because we think it's going to be worth $40, $50, $60 to $1,000? No. We're here to tell you, like, hey, this is what we're reading. These are our picks. This is why we think so, because this is the direction a book might go. You know what I mean? Yeah. Story-wise or whatnot. Should people want to speculate on the information we give them, great, man. That's. I hope that we can help people, be ahead of the game on that aspect when it comes to like flipping and stuff, because it does exist, right? It's out there.
But it's part of it, yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. But we hope to, satisfy everybody on all aspects when it comes to FOC. So if someone's looking for the flip, if someone's looking for a good read, like I said, we're just 5 friends talking comics. It's really what it's going to come down to. But on the FOC side of things, like I was saying, it's just there's a lot of people who don't even know, unfortunately, what's happening in some stories. There's so many books being released weekly. It's hard to keep up. And I think that to our advantage, being 5 different individuals, I have my favorites. Keys has his favorites. Like, I don't read some of the books that Keys reads, but Keys will bring that information to me. Mm-hmm. So why should I hold that information? Let's put it out there for everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
So being 5 different individuals, that's where we see there's an opportunity to educate everyone else, right? Like example, Comic Dude's reading all the Power Rangers stuff. Not everyone on our panel reads Power Rangers.
No,
it is what it is.
Yeah.
So he might share some knowledge that people don't understand and maybe or didn't know, and they might become, Power Rangers fans. They might be adding that to their weekly poll. Who knows?
Right.
But yeah, man. So that's something we look forward to. Where do we see ourselves going? I will say something that we acknowledge, and we're not really numbers guys. We don't really care. We're just having fun.
Mm-hmm.
But we just hit the 250 subscriber mark. We would like to hit the 500 shortly, and it is getting there. You know what I mean? Now we're at 300 and something. I don't know. But what we did notice is, let's say we have 300 and something subscribers, we're getting 300 views. So
okay,
we're noticing, okay, the people who are subscribed, I guess, really do care about what we're putting out there. You know what I mean? So there's nothing for us really at the moment to tweak. You know what I mean? Maybe little areas here and there, but let's just continue doing what we're doing. So
okay,
we're hoping to bring forth now, because we also have the retrospect every month.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun show.
Yeah, it's great.
There's so many books that it was just an idea where we said, guys, have you ever gone back within your collection, or even just looking at books that came out, let's say 10 years ago? Did you ever think they would be here? So that was just a conversation amongst us. And then we said, hey man, we might have a cool concept for a show. Let's try this. So hop in the DeLorean, you know what I mean? And let's go back.
It's a great idea, yeah.
Yeah, so we said, dude, like example, now it's February. We're going to go back February, 2018, 2015. And
how do you guys decide the year?
So originally we were just thinking of doing year, like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 years. We wanted to do all 5 years. And then when we were looking at all the books, we're like, hey, I think we're looking at like an 8-hour episode. We can't do that. We're not Spinetics. We're not Spinetics. But and shout out to Spinetics, man. I don't know how they pull out those fucking nights non-stop, man. But
I know.
But yeah, man, it was okay. Let's just pick certain years where it won't overlap. So we figured, all right, if we can do 1 year, we can do year 3 and then year 5, right? Just give it some time, or pick, let's say, 2 and 4. So that's how we went about it. And we said, okay, let's start with, let's say now we're 2022. So what we'll do is we'll go back to 2019 and 2017. And we'll keep it that way for X amount of time, and then we'll switch it up on people. We'll hit up, 2014, 2016.
Oh, okay, I see. I get it.
Yeah, so we keep tabs of where we went.
Right.
And then we just enjoy. And like I said, I've gone back on books and I'm looking, because we'll use, like, let's say League of Comic Geeks. Yeah. And we go back to those years, and I'm looking at the entire list of books. I'm like, holy cow, I even forgot these came out. Right? And then you're like, man, you line them all up, and there's so many good books that are still out there, even in dollar bins, that like there's a lot of first appearances. And with the way the market is just going bananas, right, when it comes to speculation and stuff like that, maybe there's books that we can shed some light on that people don't know about,
Okay, so that's the idea, is like, hey, maybe you forgot to look at this book, right? Rather than like all the books that are coming out right now weekly, yeah.
And you'll see it too. Like if you go back to watch our previous episodes, people on the panel will be like, hey, I didn't even know that this happened. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what we want. We want to inform everybody. We might even learn something along the way, right? And just put the info out there. It doesn't mean that we're speculating on these books. It's just, hey, this happened at one point in time within the comics, and it's
just
cool.
Keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, it's a cool story. If you want to pick it up for the read, if you want to pick it up for speculation, whatever it is, but we're just putting the info.
One of the things that you kind of mentioned about you guys working together, there's a huge, I'm not saying difference, some channels that have like multiple people on it. And then there's channels like, myself or newbies, it's just kind of one guy. You have guests and stuff on, but I really like the dynamic where it's like, 3 or 4 people, men and women together, who create this channel, because like you said, everybody's into different things. Like, this guy's into this, and he'll bring in this, or he'll bring in this idea. I find it much more dynamic. Do you is that something you guys thrive on, or?
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, we bounce so many ideas off each other and majority of them have come to fruition, right? We've used it on shows.
What are some ideas that you haven't? What are some just like, hey man, that's just not gonna work?
I don't think we've ever shot anything really down yet. In a sense of like, well, segments, almost everything we've spoken about has come, has come true and made its way to our channel. I would say maybe some trade center ideas have not, but that's just because we try to limit time, right? We want to keep a certain duration on Monday nights where we don't surpass, because we also have other friends within the community doing their shows. Team Nerd Herd, man, you know what I mean? They go on as well at around 9:30. So we want to keep the love and the respect there too. But yeah, man, it's I can't really say there has been anything yet that's been major where we didn't use it. But majority of the stuff that we've brainstormed has come and made its way to the channel. Now, where we will continue to brainstorm and what happens next, we never know. That's the fun part, is like, we have, I don't know when this episode is going to drop, but our episode tomorrow is a Valentine's Day theme. We're still in the process of like,
of course,
shooting
it
together.
Yeah,
and it might change last second. It's kind of like the I guess a lot of people within wrestling, they all know how Vince McMahon is, right? Vince McMahon within wrestling is that way. Like the script might change right before showtime, and we tend to do that. So it's fun, man. But we do have a lot of ideas coming. I'm not too sure what makes its way or not. If that ever changes, I will definitely let you know. But just to give you some ideas, right? But so far, I would say everything's made its way.
Nice. I like that dynamic. If you have 3 or 4 different people, and have you guys ever thought about, because there's other channels that do, like, I know you have the Monday night show and everybody shows up and whatnot, but have you ever thought about doing like something during the week where it's just a couple of you guys and it's like a completely different idea, or a different theme, and not necessarily all of you kind of together, but just like, the Kingpins are doing this and it's just, a couple of guys kind of like focusing on this idea?
Yeah, no, 100%. We have had those discussions. We do want to bring light on, again, like I said, we're just fans of comics. We just love comics and everything related to it. Have we spoken about speculation possibilities? Yes. Have we spoken about possibilities where we just, start talking what keys to invest in? Yeah, absolutely. But we literally have our brother, Newbie, who's doing that on Sundays and Tuesdays. And then we have so many other channels doing that too. Whereas, rather than do that, let's give the people what, might not exist fully. You know what I mean? Like, let's just hang out. Let's just talk comics, man. And I'm not saying that a lot of channels don't do that. They do that. I enjoy even hopping on to watching your stuff. When you had Chris on, Vancouver Comic Junkie, Drac, like, I enjoy watching you guys. You know what I mean? So that aspect is what we just want to keep. Now, future possibilities, I'm not too sure. Like I said, I do know that we do have things in the pipeline, in a sense of like maybe just referencing some certain series within comics that might be slept on, and we can shed some light on what we think are key issues, because people are not talking about them. So maybe things to look out for in the future, and I'll give you some examples. 7 Secrets. Right. It's an awesome series. Not too many people are discussing that book. I would say the majority of the Kingpins love the series. So hey, maybe we can just drop a video, share some information. You know what I mean? Just quick videos where people can get the info they need and keep it simple. And Monday would be the hangout.
Got it. Who do you think is your direct, I'm not saying mentor, but like influence? Or do you have any influence, like either specifically you or you guys, like, do you reference anybody in terms of in the community?
It's tough.
This is not like, hey, I want you to single somebody out, but just be like,
no. It's tough, like I said, because I'll be blunt and transparent. I'm always transparent with everybody every week.
Yeah, of course.
I'm still learning who some of these channels are. There's a lot of people within the community that I've still not even heard of, right? Sometimes we'll be discussing with the guys, and someone will drop a video in our chat. Like, let's say Hyper is like, hey, go check out this channel, or go check out this video. I'm like, hey, who is this guy? He's like, are you serious? You don't know him yet? I'm like, I'm dude, I haven't had time. You know what I mean? Like, you work 9 to 5, sometimes even longer. You're a full-time dad. It happens. But influence. If I really got to pinpoint anybody, man, I really enjoy watching Pressable Defects and Sith. The whole Spine Ticks crew, man. I think they're a blast to watch, and I think, you know, that dynamic of you do feel that, right, where they're hanging out, they're just shooting, especially Spine Ticks. You know what I mean? It's a total hangout session, and everyone's just having a good time talking comics. So I would say, if there's anyone that we could align ourselves with in a sense of like concept wise, those are the people that I definitely see.
I always find it very it's interesting, but it's amazing. However big we think this community is, because you're like, oh, I didn't realize that person was doing this or that. It is also a very small community. And the other thing I love is like we try and like lift each other up, right? Because again, we're all really kind of new at this, so it's pretty cool that we all kind of like, you know, give each other sort of you know, that we always root each other on to try and do better.
And I'm not saying this in any way to kiss ass to the people that I actually do this with, but Newbie, Face, and Keys, they've been doing this for quite some time. I believe it's about 2 years. I was nowhere even close to watching that, and I've told them straight, I had no idea this shit even existed. The reason why I came across this whole YouTube world and IG world of comics is because Hyper happens to be a local friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
So Hyper actually, you know, he plugged me in with the boys, and he said, hey man, like we literally shoot the shit outside of the Instagram world and the YouTube world. Why don't you hop on, man? And who knows? And here it is. You know, Hyper really gave me that plug. So they also play influence and people that I looked up to, in a sense of like, when I first started, I didn't know where the hell I was going with this. It was supposed to be a one-off. I really thought it was a one-off.
Right.
But yeah.
When I sat down with Newbie, he mentioned how he came across you. It was like, I think it was through Hyper and through Face, because they're like, yeah, we have this guy. But as soon as he saw you, he said he was like drawn to your animation. Like, we're both Italian, and you kind of speak with your hands. And he's like, oh, he's like, this guy, he has to be on the show, right? Because it's like some sort of it's true, right? Like, I mean, aside from giving information and cool place, like, you mean, there's a part of it that people want to hang out with you, right?
Yeah,
like,
charisma.
Charisma, exactly.
Charisma is important. Yeah. Prior, and I won't go too deep into it because I don't like speaking about it, but prior to this, once upon a time, you know, playing music and being on stage, it's one of the most important things is dominating a crowd. You know, you really got to bring that stage presence. Otherwise, you can be the best singer in the world. Sometimes it just doesn't cut it, right? You can be the best guitarist in the world.
Right.
Sometimes it just doesn't cut it. But if you bring the animation and you bring, you know, that presence where you're demanding the attention, you know, possibilities are always endless. So same thing, I would say, and it's not even done intentionally. Like I said, I'm just being myself, especially when I'm speaking with all of you guys. Ozzy, we always share the paisano stuff. of course, right? But yeah, man, it's 100%, and I agree with Newbie, and vice versa, right? Newbie himself too is a character, and he's hilarious. He's I don't want to give him too much, you know, of an ego boost by telling him that, because
he pumps. You know, listen, he pumps you guys up. He loves you guys.
Yeah,
Loves you guys.
and same. Like I said, we're all brothers. We're affiliated together technically, right?
Right.
We look at Sundays as our hangout on Newbie's channel. Mondays is our hangout, and when he can hop on, great. If he can't, it's okay. You know what I mean? No, there's no gun to anybody's head here, in a sense of like feel the pressure of having to be there every week or whatnot. It's we all have our regular lives, right?
Yeah.
Newbie says it all the time. Family over all of this stuff. You know, if anything, don't even stress it. There was a time within the last month where my whole family, man, everyone was getting sick, one after the other, daycare, kids, you know what it is. But yeah, man, it's brotherhood before all of that, 100%.
With that said, what the thing that I really love about that I'm getting out of this community is the friendships and the connections that I've made. It's crazy. Like in the past, like 2 years, like it blows my mind to think of all the really good friends. Again, like I said, I talk to a lot of like you guys and stuff more than I talk to my friends. Mm-hmm. So I really appreciate and I cherish that connection, and it's grounded in something that we all really love. And I think that's, you know, that binding force is strong.
Yep. But that's exactly it. At the end of the day, we're all here for the love of comics. It's brutal when I see people bashing each other because of speculation or because of this on Instagram. People get livid. I got blasted by somebody because I made a certain choice on Newbie's show where he had a Grail versus Grail going. I picked a certain book. Guy hammered me in my inbox.
Through your DMs?
Yeah. He was telling me I was a whack job for picking this and that, and I'm like, man, I just picked based off of what I like. But okay, thank you.
Wow.
But, yeah, no, just, you know, there is always going to be that, and it's fine. But what you're preaching right now, I can't stress it enough and agree with you that the love within the community is awesome, man. And I know that a lot of friendships have been made. I wish that I could also spend more time with certain people. Example, yourself, Ozzy. I know that you've hung out with, let's say, Tim. You've hung out with Just Crew. You've hung out with Newbie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? All these people within the community. Now, again, look, Tim, Just Crews, they're not on shows. They're within the community, man. Yeah. And here we are talking about them. It's just, there's so many friendships that have been made. I wish I could go hunt with you guys, because I see some of the stuff you guys grab, man. You have all the good stuff, but but yeah, man, and I think that to me speaks volumes. Throughout the pandemic, I kind of want to say that it's been tough to even sometimes, you know, keep your head straight. You go on social media and you see all the negative stuff that's going on. All the positive that I found within this community and these people, including yourself, Drac, everybody. Yeah. Dude, I got an AOK from Vancouver Comic Junkie that I'm still speechless about. Like, I honestly, if I see him, totally Wayne's World, I'm not worthy. You know what I mean?
He will see. I think he's coming our way. So.
Yeah, but the friendships, the love, man, that is something that I will take over any Grail, 100%.
That's great. Those are fine words right there. I can't really. It's hard to express in words what I feel about like some of the friendships that I've made, and it's also, I feel, in a way, it's been therapeutic. It's been like for everybody. It's been so hard, in whatever way it is, and during this thing that we're going through. It's been really therapeutic to have that connection. I think it's helped a lot of people.
Like I said, Ozzy, I've become best friends with these people I have never even seen face. No one has. But I
know, right?
I speak to him every fucking day.
Yeah.
I'll speak to Newbie. I'll speak to Hyper. And there's an entire other group of people that I speak to too, who I met through just comics. You understand? And in the 2 years of this entire shit show of a pandemic, these have all become my brothers. And like I said, I'm putting emphasis on you, everybody within this community. You already know who most of the circles are.
Yeah.
But it's just nice, man, to shoot the shit. You could hit up the most random person. I don't know. I'll just say somebody now. Steve, you had him on your show.
He's awesome, man.
I fucking love Steve. You know what I mean?
He's like the nicest guy.
He is.
He's the nicest guy.
And I will say this, I think eventually it needs to happen, because I have brought this up to the guys, but
you were on their show too, right?
Yeah, I was on their show, and the amount of stuff we spoke about off air afterwards, man, that's content. You know what I mean? Like, it's awesome to meet so many people. I hopped on the show thinking I was just gonna do the show. You know what I mean? We've spoken within the community many times, but man, the hangout just felt like, man, it's literally brothers hanging out, man. And I've noticed that everywhere I go. You know what I mean? And it's just something that you can't replace.
No, it's definitely something unique, and I look upon it very like fondly. I cherish those connections.
Yep.
And everybody's perspective has been the same, like in terms of like how they treat those relationships, and it's very interesting. Like you said, like most of the relationships are like this on screen, or you know, on Instagram. So it's very unique. Yep. I think we're definitely in a unique time.
Yeah, for sure.
experiencing this, and I don't think any other community is like that.
No, I will say I have seen some other, you know, I'm involved in other stuff too. I don't involve myself in a way that I do, let's say, within the comic community, but like, for example, wrestling. I'm a fan of wrestling, so is Hyper. You know what I mean? Like within our group, we watch wrestling. I check out all the channels on YouTube, but I will say I don't come across so many channels where everyone is hanging out, shooting the shit, and you could see the friendships. I haven't really seen much of that. Podcast world, in the comic side, it's awesome. Spectales,
they're great.
I love it, dude. I could shoot the shit with them all day, literally. I do speak to, you know, Omega, but in a sense of the love, like you said, the way the community really comes together, I will say that what I see within comics, I never saw that. Not within music, not within wrestling, any of that. I never saw that.
Yeah.
The whole point is to grow together, and yes, I am plugging that because that is the idea of Drac and I think I think it's amazing. But everybody supporting one another, man. Like this way here that I'm seeing right now, I've not seen that. Sure, there's always going to be, you know, some bad weeds, but it's okay. You know what I mean? It happens in everything.
You're going to get that, right? You have to have that, the yin and the yang. You have to know what's bad in order to know what's good.
And it's okay, man.
Yeah, of course. And saying all these relationships in this community, I think that's what's spawning all these awesome content creators. They're like, I want to be part of this community. That's what did it for me. I was like, you know what? I kind of want to be not only just like the whole Instagram or whatever. I want to be part of this community, right? And it takes time. It takes time and effort to participate, right?
Oh yeah, especially when you're juggling multiple things in your daily stuff, right? But it's every reason to want to be in the community, man. And I, like I said, it's unfortunate because there's always going to be the bad weeds, but it's okay. Obviously, you and I think we started more or less around the same time.
Exactly, 100%, yeah.
And with the same intentions. And look, you know what I mean? Now we're messaging each other. We're speaking quite often. Now we're hanging out here within shows, in the chats. I could honestly say since the YouTube world, I think we've either tagged each other, messaged each other, been on shows, whatever it may be, at least daily or every second day. You know what I mean? I've got friends I've grown up with. I haven't spoken to for weeks or months.
I know, exactly. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, brother. You know what? I don't want to keep you too much longer, but so I have a little theme going on here. At the end of each show, I bring on, I use this questionnaire. It's from Inside the Actor Studio. It was started by a French TV host, Bernard Pivot. It was made popular by James Lipton. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it gives a little bit more insight into BC. And if you're up to it,
shoot me. Let's go. Always ready.
Please be honest. And you can take as much time as you want.
I am always honest. Let's go.
Okay. Okay. We're going to start. What is your favorite word?
Oh, man.
See?
Favorite word?
Your favorite word?
I don't know, man. I'm looking around to see if anything inspires me, but unity, man.
Unity?
Unity. There you go. And I'm going to keep it with all that. We need it right now, man. So I'm going with
exactly.
Unity.
Perfect. What's your least favorite word?
Oh, it's a swear word. Am I allowed to swear? Am I allowed to?
You're allowed to swear.
Cunt. I don't know. I just think it's aggressive.
Okay. Yeah. It's definitely aggressive. That's fine. Yeah. I know. It's pretty harsh.
Like, stings the ear, man. Like, hey.
Gets right to you.
Nope.
Okay. What turns you on?
My wife.
Okay. This isn't. Okay. People have been. It's not a literal thing.
Oh no. My wife. 100%.
Okay. There we go. Perfect. Okay.
There's a baby.
She'll be happy for that one. What turns you off?
Oh man, there's a lot of things that turn me off, but dude, racism. I can't deal with it. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, that's a good one. Good. What sound or noise do you love?
The sound of the barbecue grill with the steak on it. That's me, baby. The sizzle. No, I'm kidding. That was the fat side of me coming out, but
that's okay, man. That's for later on today, right?
Yeah. Dude, acoustic guitar, man. I have one behind me, and I could listen to somebody play acoustic all day long.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
perfect. So knowing that, what sound or noise do you hate?
The screeching nails on a chalkboard. I cannot do it. That, or sometimes it happens where myself or my wife, we could be eating at the table, and you know when you just accidentally grind the fork and it makes that. I can't do
it. You know what? Across the board, pretty much everybody said almost the exact same sound, which is very interesting.
Crazy.
This is going to be amazing. I definitely need to know this. What is your favorite curse word?
In Italian?
Just, hey bro, it can be anything.
Yeah, I would say in Italian, minchia. Fuck. I think fuck comes out of my mouth a little too often sometimes. I gotta double check. My kids around, I'm like, ooh. But yeah, man, it tends to be the most common of the two. It would be that, and in Italian, minchia.
Is it your favorite or common? Just be.
It's my favorite.
Like if you're ready to give it to somebody, what would you say?
Oh, vaffanculo. You know exactly what this means.
Exactly.
It means go fuck yourself.
That's perfect. I knew it was going to be something like that. So what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I don't know. I always feel like I would have been a good lawyer. Yeah, I think law would have been something fun to do. There's that. Yeah, that's one of them. Obviously, music. Music's always been a profession I would have loved to continue to go with, but it's a whole different lifestyle, and it's very demanding. You have no life, no family life. You know what I mean? But otherwise, law, 100%.
Oh, that's cool. Did you ever think about going to law school or?
No, man, no way I would make it through law school. But yeah, man, I always wanted to be in a courtroom, and it has happened on a certain extent because what I do on the daily is property management, and there's a lot of real estate management situations where tenants and whatnot. So being in courtrooms has happened on a smaller scale, but I would love to have been studying law to the fullest extent where you know, you end up having to grill somebody on that you know, courthouse, and it's just, I don't know. I feel like that's a route I would have liked to have taken, but
cool.
Yeah, too much school.
No, yeah, it's very intense. Yes,
yeah.
I have a few friends who are lawyers, and yeah, pretty much, yeah, the entire, even after they, you know, they get you know, into working there, it's just time consuming. Like that's all they do. That's all they do.
Yeah, so. One of the places where I was managing a building, there was a tenant of mine who was a lawyer, and you would see her, like, she would be stacked with paperwork. I think that's the hardest part, man. It's like, that's the part that would have turned me off, but being in the courthouse is what really would have, like, yeah, let's go, I'm ready. You know what I mean?
Cool. So last one. So it's a little bit religiously based, which is okay. If heaven exists,
yeah,
what would you like God to say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Here is the AF-15 I've been saving for you in a 9.8, baby.
9.9.
9.9, yeah. But no, I just want him to tell me that I did okay, man. I did okay. Just tell me I did okay. That's it. I'm good. And then show me the way to the bar. Or let me know where the bar is.
It's right over here. They're waiting. There's a seat waiting for you.
Yeah, just go there and take your 9.9 and get the hell out of here.
Cool. Nice. Right on. Okay, brother. That's it. I appreciate you taking the time.
Awesome, man.
Is there anything? What's because the video will be dropping fairly soon. What's on deck for the Kingpins? Just do a little quick thing, and then we'll have a little outro.
Well, Kingpins, every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, we go live, man. Mm-hmm. We have tons of segments, like we were saying within the show today, especially with Trade Center. Seems to be the hot one. But yeah, we have the FOC starting on February 19. So
it's called
Royally Fucked. But yeah, it's every Saturday as of February 19. It's going to be dropping at noon. Where we pick our picks, and we hope that, you know, whatever information we bring to the table is enough for you guys, whether it be reading or speculating, whatever it may be. Aside from that, we also we have our monthly episode of Retrospect, so those are always fun ones. We hope that everybody could tune in on that one. We are planning on making our way to certain cons, not all of us, you know what I mean? It's tough to get together. I know that the boys are trying to get together for Toronto.
That's coming up.
Yeah, man. So hey, man, if you come and join us, you never know, man. You never know.
Nice.
You never know.
I'll take a meeting. Thank you.
There you go. But yeah, no. Keep an eye out. We do want to start pumping out some merch and just getting the name out there, man. That's really what we want to do, and we really want to have everybody come hang out with us, especially on Monday nights. Monday nights is the hangout session, and then we got to hit 500 subscribers. That's the next big giveaway.
You'll get there sooner. They'll get there sooner than you think.
Yeah, you saw the 250, right?
I was there. Yeah,
good stuff. Yeah. Dan De La Torre contributed some good slabs right there, but
yeah, he's a good man.
Yeah, but yeah, man. So that's pretty much it for us. We're just every Monday, now Saturdays, we're gonna have some videos for you guys, and that's it. That's
cool.
Us.
Nice. Right on. Dude, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you taking the time. I hope everybody has a fantastic day, and I'll see everybody soon.
Yeah, man.
All right. Take care. Thanks,
brother. Take care, bro.
Bye.